All right, for today, I want to talk about how to thrive in 2023 because what I see come across almost daily is people surviving, living in that stress mode. And when we talk about brain waves, that's when you're living in high beta, like we're turned on, fight or flight mentality, where we're very reactive, stressed out. That is not a way of living. That is what we call survival mode. And ultimately, if you stay in constant survival mode, that will lead to dis-ease and issues in the body because we are not built for that. Your body, that's a very toxic environment. So again, I want to share with you how to thrive in 23, not just survive. What I want to share with you is a coaching call I had with somebody very recently. And the reason I want to share all of their pain points is because I know it's not just them. I know that you can likely relate to some of this, if not all of it. And that's what I want to help you overcome. I want you to understand that where you're currently at in any area of life. Again, I have a free resource. It's called the Life Assessment. It's on my website, heatherhakes.com. I can share that with you here. The life assessment is a great place to start so you even know what area of life you're stuck in. What is that pain point? But I want you to understand where you're at to where you want to go. This is what I call version 2.0. Things are going to have to change, and it starts with you. So let me share with you this person's pain point, okay? And if you relate to this, if this resonates, I would love for you to type in the chat, if not all of these, which ones are you like, yep, I'm dealing with that. Yep, that's my issue too. So this person shared with me that they have a time management problem. And then they went on to explain they aren't able to say no, they lack boundaries, they take on too much, especially at work, which is creating, okay, so time management is a symptom. But this time management problem is leading to lack of boundaries, completely stressed out, anxious, not sleeping. This person had a lot of self-doubt, lack of confidence, living from a state of fear, creating a lot of anxiety, the feelings of I'm not good enough, fear of trying something new, right? We have fear of failure. Many people have fear of success. This person shared always questioning myself, over analyzing. Again, this is living in that survival mode. When you're in your analytical, logical mind, that's what creates so much mental chaos. Ugh, I call it monkey mind. Habit of always thinking the worst, feeling that their worth is tied to their bank account. This is very normal. Constantly analyzing, again, horrible sleep, no self-discipline, very indecisive, don't trust themselves, have that need to control, which is very fear-based, and seeking passion and purpose. This person is not alone, and that was their list of all of their pain points. Can you relate to that? What can you relate to? Is it the self-doubt? Procrastination is big for so many of us. And again, procrastination is a symptom of a much deeper rooted problem. But here's what I want to share with you. When you're living in this survival mode, having all of these pain points, that's that negative feedback loop. You're stuck on that hamster wheel. It's a vicious cycle. And you probably feel completely out of control. And it's like you're on this freight train going nowhere. Can you relate to this? I'd love to hear some confirmation or like this makes sense. Maybe you've been there and you've overcome that. But this person living in this survival mode, the common denominator in all of that is them. It's their lack of mental discipline, always focusing on the worst. That's what creates the anxiety, the stress, the worry, the fear. But guess what? That's just a lack of mental discipline. If you can learn to discipline your mind, something I talk about often is the thought cycle. Our thoughts create our emotions and feelings, which lead to the actions or inactions we take and create our results in our life. Do you see how the first domino in all of that are thoughts? Now, if this person can implement mental discipline, which is what I teach, right? I literally coined myself personal trainer for your mind. This is what I help my coaching clients through. When you can discipline your mind, your thoughts, then you won't spiral out of control into feeling all of this. Like, I can't imagine living like that every single day, day in and day out. And I could see it. There was so much pain and literally on the verge of breaking down, burnout. They cried on the call. Okay. Like, that is going to lead to a volcanic eruption unless you deal with it right now. Like, I want to help you deal with these pain points before they get out of control. Somebody has commented they can relate to all of it. Okay, so guess what? Unfortunately, this is the majority. Majority of people are living in survival mode. But I want you to know, like, you didn't need to wait till January 1st to make change in your life. But let's choose to make change today. And that's where it starts. You have to make a choice, a decision. You no longer want to live in survival mode. This is literally breaking the habit. I love Dr. Joe Dispenza. Breaking the habit of being yourself. Here's what he says. Your personality, which is your state of being, this person's state of being is how they think, how they act, and how they feel. This person's state of being, anxious, worried, self-doubt, fear, no boundaries, is creating complete chaos in their life. So what Dispenza teaches is your personality creates your personal reality. Most people come into a new year or wanting to create change with the same personality. This person, that version of them is not going to create change in their life. You literally have to become someone else. Now, this is what I call version 2.0. And when you choose to think differently, when you choose to create mental discipline, when you choose to be proactive, not reactive in your life, all of this will change. You can power the pause, you can catch and replace. These are lots of tools and techniques that I teach. But what you have to do is you have to stop the momentum when you have that fearful thought, when you're stressed out, when you're anxious. You have to stop it. Something I posted just the other day. These are what I call triggers. So when you're starting to feel anxious, right, that creates anxiety in your body. You know what fear feels like, maybe kind of sweaty, shortness of breath, tightness in your chest. That is what I call a trigger. A trigger is your opportunity. It's a trapped emotion. So this person, as an example, has a lot of fear, a lot of survival mode, and that once released. So a 3-step process I shared was to see it, feel it, and release it, because most people resist it. And when you resist all of this, you've heard this before, whatever you resist persists. So you can't resist the fear. You can't resist the anxiety. And that's what most people do, is run, numb out, drink, scroll on social media. We all have our numbing agents, right? You have to stop doing those and choose. You don't want to be out of control anymore. It is time to get back in the driver's seat of your life. It is time to thrive in 2023. Paul is saying good stuff. I'd love to hear from you. Is this making sense? And if it is, then the first step in creating any change in life is awareness. Now that you are aware of this way of being, it is time to create that new vision, that new version of you. And it's not about becoming better. It's more like, I think of it as an onion, peeling back the layers, unlearning, breaking those habits, the mental discipline, procrastination is a big one. 80% of adults admit to procrastinating. That's something I kicked to the curb like 3 years ago because it was wreaking havoc in my life. But also I had to overcome self-doubt, imposter syndrome. So even me, I had to get really clear on who I was being, which wasn't working for me. Self-doubt, imposter syndrome, procrastination, those were my 3 big pain points. I had to shine a light on them, become really aware, and then choose and decide those could no longer be a version of me. I got really clear on who I wanted to be. In order for me to make the impact I desire, I couldn't have self-doubt. I couldn't believe in imposter syndrome, which is, who am I to be doing this? I couldn't procrastinate on creating content. Do you see how we self-sabotage and keep ourselves back? Somebody else just shared, drive my thoughts equals thrive this thinking. I'm sorry, I don't quite follow that. If you could expand. But anyway, I just want you to know that you can thrive in this lifetime. Literally, I love the saying that you're the author, writer, director, and actor in your movie. You have the pen, write a new script, plot twist anytime you choose. You have this power, and it begins mentally, right? You have to discipline your mind, which will change your habits, your actions, your behaviors, and ultimately your results in your life. I'd love to open it up for those that are watching live. What questions do you have? What pain points can you relate to this person that I shared? And where can I help you? How can I help you to get back, on forward focus, create that momentum, have the self-discipline, have the clarity, and most importantly, to get out of your own way? How can I help you? Also, let's go back a little bit. I did ask, do you have a word for 2023? I love what you all shared. So a few of you, accountability, courage, discipline, integrity, love. I love that. Again, I'm sharing with you, my word for 2023 is unwavering faith. Unwavering faith. I know that it's on the way. I know it's going to work out. And something I use we're going to talk about manifesting another time, but something I always add at the bottom of my manifestos is this or something even better. I think it's important to get clear on what you do want in your life, but also to open yourself up for it to be even better than you expected, even bigger. So just get out of your own way, okay? Let 2023 be the year you no longer stand in your way. 2023 to be the year that you're letting that old self literally die, right? It's literally death of the old self. That fear, worry, anxiety, lack of boundaries, that person literally has to die so new you can be rebirthed, reinvented, reignited. Robert sharing that imposter syndrome. Interesting in everything you've noted that it's what applies to me. I am very good at accepting responsibility, but I do question, who am I to do this? I hold myself back more than anything else. Robert, thank you. That is some radical self-honesty. And look, imposter syndrome, most people experience that, like even the greats, right? And Elon Musk, and Oprah, a Jeff Bezos, amazing athletes. We have that thought. But something I've shared before, you don't have to attach to your thoughts. Learn to observe them, filter them. If they're disempowering, and imposter syndrome is majorly disempowering, as you shared, I hold myself back more than anything else. Of course we do, because we are directing our life. So you have to choose to see it, feel it, and release it. See that imposter syndrome. What I do is find evidence that that's not true. And then you literally have to talk yourself into greatness. You have to talk yourself into being your own cheerleader. Ben shared creating trust towards others. Ben, I'd like to ask you, Ben, I think you're my 75 hard guy. Creating trust towards others, something that I have recognized when I do this on coaching calls with my clients. If you don't trust others, you actually lack self-trust. Ooh, I know that might be kind of hard to swallow, but truly, anything you're projecting onto other people is actually an internal thing that you're trying to point the blame somewhere else. So Ben, if you're honest, do you lack self-trust? And if you, for example, I'm not picking on you, but if you have procrastination, if you don't have follow-through, you of course would lack self-trust because you don't trust yourself. So how could you trust others? Okay, Josh is sharing Self-talk can be so damaging and build massive barriers. Yes, but if you implement this mental discipline, I literally am, I'm like my number one best cheerleader. And how I have practiced this, that's, you have to apply and implement it. How I've literally trained my brain. I do it when I run. And when I run, I have affirmations. For example, when I was training for my marathon, but I do this often. I've done the 4x4x48, and that's what got me through these affirmations. I can do this. I am strong. I am powerful. I am a finisher. And that's literally running. I'd say it out loud. And I'm chanting, I am strong. I am finisher. I am capable. I can do this. So, if we lack that mental self discipline and talk ourselves out of greatness, we can also have those empowering thoughts and talk ourselves into greatness. And I'm telling you, that's how I ran a marathon, literally. Okay, I'd love for anyone else watching live, I would love to hear from you anything else that you believe is holding you back, keeping you in survival mode, keeping you in fear, lack, and limitation, because that's one version of you. But I want you to know you can step into this version 2.0. You can reinvent yourself anytime you choose. For those that are new to this and you're like, Heather, this sounds phenomenal. Where do I even get started? Here's what I want to offer you. There's two ways to work with me. Number one, you can join my monthly membership, Unlimited. We meet every single week, and I am walking all of the members through how to do this. Number two, if you want to deep dive and go all in, I do offer one-on-one coaching. You can learn more about both of these directly on my website, heatherhakes.com. But ultimately, I know what's possible for you, but it's time for you to know what's possible for you. And you've got to show up, be mindful and intentional every single day. Like literally get out of bed and be so excited you woke up today, because I'm willing to bet most people, because I've been there, like you get out of bed, you're going through life's motions, and it's like, oh, another day. That is survival mode. It is time to get in thriving mode. All right, if nobody else has questions today, I'll give you all just a moment for anyone else watching live. Otherwise, when you're watching the replay, you can still comment. I can come back and reply to you after the fact. Okay, sorry. So Ben, this is the one that mentioned, hold on just a moment. Oh, trust towards others. So Ben is saying self-trust. See it. How do I garnish the trust in myself? So he's doing 75 hard. He's 3 days in, no alcohol, tobacco, 2 workouts, 1 gallon of water, 10 pages of self-help book a day. Yeah. Okay, so his question is, how do I garnish the trust in myself? Here's how I'll share how I did it. So for example, it was about 3 years ago. Procrastination was a really big pain point. And by procrastinating, putting things off, not following through, I didn't trust myself to complete things. So self-trust is a new habit, right? How do you build a new habit? Small things. Let me share you how I got started. It was little things. So literally, like when I would collect trash, I live in a 2-story townhome. I would collect trash and set it at the top of the stairs. Well, I started creating follow through that moment. I would collect the trash, walk downstairs, dump it in the trash can in my garage. So I had to build small habits at first. Here was another one. How easy is it to do laundry, pull it out of the dryer, and then like let it sit there for days? I did that. Now I created, it's a non-negotiable. When I'm doing laundry, I fold it and put it away same day. So again, it was small tasks at home. When I got emails, I responded. When I set out on something new, a task, I did it. I finished it. I prioritized. So for me, it was small follow through. And then that's how you build self-trust. Does that help, Ben? Where can you start? So for example, I know you're doing 75 hard, and he's the one that shared he's previously done it, but quit after 55 days because he talked himself into 55 days was enough. Again, how often do we talk ourselves into, like, we create justifications and excuses on not needing to finish, right? We did enough. But now he's hopefully going all in this round. And if not, give yourself some grace and get back on the horse, right? You fell off, you get back on. It took me 3 attempts to actually complete 75 hard. Again, Ben, I hope that helps. If not, let me know. If there's any other questions, I'd love to hear from you, but I just want to wrap this up and remind you that if you're currently living in this state of a survival mode, you're living in constant anxiety, worry, fear, time management, lack of self-discipline, no boundaries. What were the other pain points? Worth is tied to bank account, don't feel good enough, fear of trying something new. Like this person is so stuck holding themselves back. It all comes down to a decision, no more, right? Whatever you are not changing, you are choosing. And I just want you to know that you can thrive in this lifetime. Again, thank you all for joining me live. If you're watching the replay, I would love to hear from you. Where are you tuning in from? Last time we had people from multiple continents. I love that. That's what I love about social media. I want 2023 to be your best year yet, and it's possible for you if you decide. Thank you all for joining me. I'll see you next week.